Hello, I'm back. It's been a minute. So, played at locals, had fun, changed up my deck a little bit. So it was more of a deck update. As you can see, new addition to the side deck right here. A new mat, new drip. As you can see, let's just jump straight into it. Taishi. My Cyber Dragon Cyber Dark deck profile. First off, FK9 ain't got shit on me. 2, Yummy. It's kind of difficult to go up against, but as long as I have a big body and protection, don't worry about it. Draco Tail is definitely really hard because they have a lot of floaters. That's pretty much it. And I have got a lot of rarity bumps, so a really pretty, 3 Platinum Secret Rare Core. Your best starter of the deck. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, they're so pretty. So of course, 3 starter of the deck gets you Cyber Spell when you normal summon it. Mandatory activation on summon. Good extender. If you control no cards on your field and your opponent controls a monster, you can banish it to summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck. Amazing. Only problem with this deck is that you can really overextend your resources trying to go for your full board, so you won't always have like a lot for the follow-up turn, but your objective is to kind of like, just be that guy, Taishi. And shut them down a little bit. Because turn 1 is shut down, control. Next turn 2 is all about OTK, and that's why I put my side deck around. Then we got 2 Cyber Dragon. I've kind of been jumping from 2 and 3, right? But 3, I see it too much in my hands, especially trying to go first. 2, sometimes I might see it too little, right? And I feel like 2 is just a decent amount. I meant 1 is too little, not 2. Pardon me, right? And then you got 1 Hertz, 1 Naxter, your basic Cyber Dragon package, and your 1 Jormungandr, technically not a Cyber Dragon, but he's in here. So your Naxter, just send 1 monster from your hand, special summon this card to the field, and then on summon activates its effect to summon basically a monster with 2100 attack or defense on the field, right? And then you're locked in machines. Hertz, you send this to the graveyard any which way. You add a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard or your deck to your hand. So like if any of these guys are in the graveyard, right, and their names are Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, even Cyber Dragon, believe it or not, you can add them to your hand. That's actually really good for resource reuse. And you got your Jormungandr. Sorry guys, I like to be very organized sometimes. But moving on, Cyber Dark package, 3 Claw. Okay, guys, don't get turned off. All right. Cyber Darks and Cyber Dragon synergize very well, and it's not shiny, which is sad. Konami gave me rarity bumps for these guys. Searches you a Cyber Dark spell, you just discard it, and it's a dragon, but you don't summon these to the field. You never summon them to the field, unless it's like a dire situation. So nothing too crazy with that, you know what I'm saying? Your cannon, basically claw, but a cannon, and it searches your Cyber Dark machines, which you only have like 3 of those, which is your 1 Chimera, right. Very important. Get you your Power Bond, and if it gets into the graveyard, you can send a Cyber Dark that's not already in your graveyard to the graveyard from your deck. That's pretty good. Helps you set up your place for your big boards. 1 edge, because 1, we edge. We're edgers over here. And 2, you also never really summon this card unless it's like in case of emergency. If you see it in your open hand, you're kind of sad, right? And yeah, you never really want to see this guy. And then there's Cyber Dark Worm, one of our very good extenders. I forgot I didn't explain Jormungandr. I'll explain him after Worm because he's 2 of the new supports. Everybody knows what Worm does. Send 1 Light Machine monster from your deck to the graveyard, special summon him to the field, and then basically on resolution, you can grab a Cyber Dark spell from your graveyard to the field, which is really good, and it's level 5, and it's 2100 attack. Only once produced, sadly, but it's very amazing. Jormungandr, if your opponent controls a monster, during literally any time, if you have a monster on the field still, you can activate its effect, summon it and a Cyber Dragon, or equip the Cyber Dragon in your spell and trap zone, which is also pretty cool. Very good for Xyz plays, and you can also activate its effect by bouncing a Cyber Dragon on the field to your hand and adding a polymerization from your deck to your hand, which is really good. Also helps you get to your full combo board looking thing. You know, I'm gonna show pictures of the full deck list and a side plan, right? I finally made a side plan, and what else? Yeah, and our end board, right? I'll probably just put it on the thing. A little more for our non-engine. Darion, King, Regulus, basic and any machine deck. Moving on, let's go to our hand traps. I bumped up the hand traps a little bit for going turn 1. We're focusing on turn 1. We got 3 Ash, 2 Ghost Spell. Got your deck in your graveyard, pretty much, your opposites. And also, just in case, because graveyard stuff is also got a little important in this deck now, we got Worm, right? Ghost Spell is dangerous. Not 100% dangerous, not 100% show-stopping, right? We're going to get to the show-stopper in a second. So our cross-out designator definitely helps just in case if we get Ghost Spelled, right? They'd be running a lot of hand traps nowadays. What in the world? Why are you turning on? We got Drone Lockbird, which pretty much kills our deck, or any deck that you know that adds to the hand. So I decided to have it in here for H in case you draw it, draw somebody, or you use your cross-out designator. So yeah, that's pretty much all I need to say for draw, right? Moving on to our spells and traps. We're gonna go 3 Cyber Emergency, non-negotiable. Beautiful Sea Rare. 1 Eternal. This is technically more of a tech card because it helps us go into our full combo, but you don't go to your full combo 100% of the time, right? It's more of like if you have the opportunity, definitely do it, right? But it's not for the weak hearted. It's definitely still a good deck though, right? And then we got our 2 Cyber Dark Realm. I bumped it up because sometimes you have 2 Clockwork Knights and you don't see what you need to see, sadly, and you don't always have that consistency you always want, right? Every deck breaks, right? So I decided to bump up the consistency just in case if I need it, if I can see new plays or lines when I'm actually inside of a duel, right? And then we got 2 Horizon, very good searcher and getting stuff to the graveyard when you need it. Get your resources in the graveyard, get you resource to your hand, and it sends a resource from your extra to the graveyard. But it does lock you into machines. And you don't really have to worry about getting locked in machines with this deck, which is pretty cool, because you know, everything's machines. But Cybernetic Horizon, absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing, right? We're gonna go into our fusion spells. We get 2 Power Bonds. I want to have 2, because if I have 1 and accidentally open it, basically kind of just kills my hand. I can't hold you, just kills it. Kills the plays, kills everything, and our board turns really, really limited. So, and out of all the kind of test stands I did, I've never seen 2 of these in my hand. I've only seen 1. At the least, right? And then we go Polymerization, because you can add it off of Jormungandr, and it gets you into our new buddy boy right here. Heroes for Rog, the Mechanical Daunt. Very useful, very amazing, right? And then you got your big 3, Triple Tactics Thrust, Cross Out, and Call by the Grave. Very good non-engine, right? 1 Clockwork Knight. See, the thing with Clockwork Knight is a lot of people run it at 2. Very understandable. I run it at 2, right? But for this edited build, the thing that I'm trying out, right? Because I haven't took it to a locals yet. I will do it at some point. Clockwork Knight, run it at 1. I feel like I'm a good enough duelist to where I can tell if I need to have either Clockwork Knight on the field or send it away so I can get an extra negate on the board. I feel like I know when I need and when I don't need to do that. So I'm not 100% too worried about running it at 1. And I can search it off of Clockwork Knight, right? Oh no, what if it gets negated? Then if I draw into it, I'll use it then. But I'm not 100% too worried about running it at 2. I think I do run an extra copy in the side deck. I'm not sure. We'll get to it. It's been a minute since I checked my deck. We're going to get into our traps, and something that correlates with Clockwork Knight is our Rivalry of the Warlords. Since you play mainly machines, right? Rivalry of the Warlords is a really good card to put inside this deck, especially when you're going first. Because then it stops a lot of other decks, because, you know, Yummy got a small hit, right? And Snake Eyes came back. So you're going to be playing Snake Eyes Yummy. You see? See what I'm talking about? Now, instead of it just being a more focused on a Yummy board, right? It stops them from extending further. Same thing if you have Clockwork Knight on the field with Yummy. A lot of their stuff requires light. Well, not. I think their Link monster requires light beast monster, right? And so, not 100% too worried about it. But especially if you have Clockwork Knight and you have Rivalry of the Warlords on the field, if everything's machines and they summon a monster to the field, now they have a machine, they can't summon anything else. They have to set it face down or just let it slide. You see the correlation. You see it, and now hopefully you use it. And then we have, let's move to the side, 2 Imperm. I pulled this. I was very happy. I couldn't sell it though. But 2 Imperm. I don't necessarily need to run it at 3. Of course, if you want to, you can. I don't really care. But I just had 2 because we already have plenty of hand traps in the deck. And I don't want to start bricking on hand traps. That's pretty much it for the main deck. We're just going to make this all one, not well, of course you're going to make it one video. One video so I don't have to edit it. I can just start straight into YouTube. I like to go in reverse order with my extra deck. It just helps me explain things better. So we're going to start with our Link monsters, Clockwork Knight. Clockwork Knight, send a continuous spell to the graveyard and then get Clockwork Knight from your deck. Immediately, really good, right? And you contribute 1 machine monster, then target 1 machine monster in your graveyard with, I think, 1,000 or less original attack, or I remember correctly, summon it to your field. Really good to extend you into your plays. It really does help you, and it gets more cards in your graveyard that you need, and cards on the field that you need to get you into your full combo. I keep talking about full combo because I think it looks really cool. It builds a really big board. SP Little Knight, right? You could do Sky Striker, Ace Azalea, Machine. It's definitely probably a little more better in the deck overall, but if you get interrupted and you get locked into machines and you don't have a light or dark on field, it makes it harder for SP Little Knight to be useful. Not SP Little Knight, I meant Sky Striker, Ace Azalea. So I just took the little more universal route of SP Little Knight. If you need it, this is probably the just in caser. 1 Seeger, planning to get this on our rarity bump soon. That's pretty much just an attack boost, and if they're attacking into him and it attack boosts something else, neither player takes damage from interactions with this card, aka attacks. Let me clarify that. So that can definitely save your butt a couple times. 1 Nova, I'm gonna get a rarity bump on this soon. It basically just gets you a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. That's pretty much all you use it for, right? And you just use that, extends into your place. You get what I'm trying to say. And then you use that to get into Infinity. Nice, beautiful rarity bump right there. 25th anniversary. I'm planning on going platinum. Some 25th anniversaries, a little bit of balance and beautiful shiny cards. And then Zeus. Oh no, where did your Typhon go? I realized that I can't Typhon into Zeus right away because it's my first time ever using or reading Typhon. So it's definitely one of those just in casers, but like I don't think it's necessarily needed. We already have this just in caser, and this is already a machine, so I don't have to worry about if I have Rivalry of the Warlords on the field. And then I'm gonna go Chimera, your main OTK line, Chimeratech Rampage Dragon. Delicious OTK beauty right here. And then Heroic Frog, Mechanical Dawn. I'll explain Rampage. So Rampage, 2 Cyber Dragon monsters on the field, however many you used for its fusion summon, because it's monsters plus. You can pop as many spell traps on the field if you want to, of course. And then you can send 2 light machines from your deck, right? And then you get 2 additional attacks. And with Power Bond, that's 4,200 attack. What the flip, guys? What are we doing here? He's broken, right? And then you got Heroic Frog, 2 light machine monsters, quick little fusion summon, banish either 2 light machine monsters from the graveyard or 1, I believe, light machine on the field. I can't remember. Then you can negate the activation of the spell and trap card. Already pretty useful, all right? And then 2 Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon. I realized again, oh no, my monster got sucked once. That sucks, right? But I realized if they have follow-up, it may not be much, but it's still something that could stop us. We don't like that. So we're just gonna I'm running it at 2 again. Sorry for the it was a really bad glare. I'm gonna run it at 2 again. So I can be like, oh, guess what? I have a second one. Ha 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 ha. And then you got Chimera Tech Mega Fleet Dragon. Basically the same thing as this, but it's more targeted for just the extra monster zone. So it's a really easy take. Then you got Eternity, usually sending this off of what's it called? You're usually sending this off of Horizon, but it is a pretty big tower you can get off, so you can get over any yummy stuff. But basically, you can banish it from your graveyard, and your fusion monsters are protected from targeted effects from your opponent, and they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Really good. Cyber End Dragon, usually sending him off of... Okay, this is turn 2. This is turn 1. So you can get into your big negates and combos. You're sending him to the graveyard, that's it. That's literally it. He does piercing damage, I guess, right? But then you send him to the graveyard for this guy. And this guy goes into this card I'm about to show you right now, which is technically your tech card. So he basically sends any equips that you have on the field to the graveyard to negate the activation of a card or effect and destroy it, which is really bogus. No, not bogus. It's actually really gnarly because you can have about 4, I believe, if I remember correctly. 3 or 4. But that also leaves you Imperm, Clockwork Knight, Rivalry. So that's really good. And then you got this big boy. You basically tribute these two to get this guy, right? And he's basically a big tower, unaffected by activated card effects. And then what you usually do is let me find it real quick. You know, emergencies get you your cyber dragon, your cyber stuff. Forgot to tell you that. Eternal, which is basically a monster born for a fusion monster that you already properly fusion summoned, or it's going to get sent right back to the extra deck, right? Summon this guy back, and since he's an old card, activate its effect again, equip Cyber End Dragon, it's another negate. And plus he gets additional attacks for each equip it has on it. Yeah, I know, it's kind of tough. So we're gonna go to our side deck. Again, this is if you want to use this side deck, right? We're gonna go 3 Molcharmy Fuawalos. So this is supposed to be 2 Perulia, because this is like, if I'm going turn 2, I'm going all in turn 2 OTK. So the 2 Fuawalos, we got Contact C for right now. We got an extra Jormungandr. Then we got 1 Hertz, 1 extra Hertz, 3 Droplet, Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Lightning Storm. I'm gonna get these in a QCR alt art, and then 2 Thrust. That's really just our side deck. That's our side deck. Simple, easy, light. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Real quick, I'm gonna pop up full deck list. And I'm probably just gonna put it on there as I'm eating. Citing whatchamacallit, whatever. You know what I'm talking about, guys. But lovely day to you. Bye-bye.